It's Charisse Marie, and in this video, I want to talk to you very briefly about my origin story. Oh my gosh, let's talk about where I came from, how I got here from there, and all the things that went into making me the person that I am now, doing the things that I do now, and talking to you on your magic little box right now. Okay, so let's, oh goodness, my chair is squeaking today. Okay, so let's dive in. I started my career actually in property management. I was a commercial property manager for years and years and years. And so I know all the things markety, well, not so much markety. I know all the things about how buildings run, and I know all the things about customer relations and budgeting and accounting and all the things, collections, you name it. When it comes to anything to do with buildings, I probably have done it. Forecasting, budgeting, all the things. So I did that for like 25 years. And then I got sick. And I have a condition called Meniere's disease, which causes vertigo attacks, horrible vertigo attacks, just randomly, just out of the blue. And that kind of meant that I had to cut back on the stress, and I had to cut back on the driving. And those two things, well, those are the two big things that property management really thrives on, is a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and a lot of driving. So without those two things, I pretty much had to shelve my career in property management and find something new. And I really wanted to do something from home, something where if I was having a bad day, I could do it. So I thought, well, I'll be a life coach. I first thought, I'm going to do Reiki. I love the idea of becoming a Reiki master and doing Reiki on people and maybe doing some guided meditations. And yeah, I went from, this happens a lot in property management, I went from one extreme to the other in like a nanosecond. And it didn't go to plan. I am not, for whatever reason, that idea of that business was fantastic for me, but it didn't resonate with anybody that I actually knew. So they didn't come see me. So I spent a couple months waiting for clients. And then I thought, okay, I need to pivot. You ever been there? Raise your hand. Hit that like button below. Comment down below how many times you've pivoted in your business. So I pivoted and I became a life coach and a retreat person, as well as Reiki and guided meditation. So now I'm on 4 things, right? And life coaching can be a very tricky business to market. You really have to have a good group of potential clients that already know, like, and trust you in order to really get that business to flow well. Despite what people might tell you, it's actually really hard to convince strangers that even though you're not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor, that you can help them. It really is. And it doesn't really matter how good the program is, how good any of the stuff is. If they are unsure, they're going to vote with their wallets and they're going to say no. And so it can be very demoralizing when you're stuck in that habit, in that pattern of, I can't make sales because, my friends don't want to do this because of whatever reason, and I'm struggling to find strangers to do it. That can be very demoralizing. And I probably tried for a year to do that. And I added a few other odds and ends. I do past life regression sessions, and I do a couple other fun things. And that is my passion project. I still do it on the side, but it's not my main focus. Because what I found was, while I was doing all of that stuff and trying to learn the business and trying to figure out all those pieces, the marketing, all of it, I was building accidentally quite a good VA business on the side. I was a virtual assistant. I used to say I did it off the corner of my desk. Anytime anybody would come in and want VA work, were mostly referrals. I'd say I do it off the corner of my desk, but it's not my main focus. Well, even though it wasn't my main focus, it ended up being what I spent a good chunk of every day doing. So was it my main focus? Yeah, it probably was, but I wasn't really acknowledging that. Anyways, one of my VA clients, she was interested in Pinterest. She had a friend who was a Pinterest strategist, and they kind of talked about it, and she's like, well, I need some testimonials. Would you want to do an exchange? You know how that goes, right? So she set up, this Pinterest strategist set up my client's Pinterest account for her. And they showed me how to do all the things to make it run every month. And I thought, this is really fun. I kind of like doing this. This is a lot of fun. So then I started poking around a little bit in it and having more fun and more success and more fun and more success. And pretty soon I was offering it to all of my VA clients as an added service that I could set up a Pinterest account for them. And they were finding pretty good results as well. And I was having so much fun that I just thought, you know what? I need to turn this into a real business. This should be my focus. I have all of the strategy knowledge. I have all of the marketing knowledge. I have a ton of copywriting experience. I have a ton of technical know-how for how to set things up. Why don't I use all of those things and help people create a Pinterest account that really speaks to their ideal clients? And I noticed that in the market, at the same time, I was noticing that in the market, there wasn't a lot of Pinterest people who were catering to the soulpreneurs, to the people who are like me. They're intuitives, they're healers, they're spiritual coaches, they are the holistic teachers. Let's go with holistic. I'm struggling with the word here. They are the holistic teachers of the world. They're the people who are helping us get from where we are right now to that next highest level. And I really resonated with the idea of creating something that spoke to them so that they could speak to their ideal clients on a higher basis. Because I also noticed that on Pinterest, there's a very small select group of niches that are well represented, and the rest, not so much. So all of the healers and the spiritual people and the intuitives and the thises and the that's, they are mostly represented by quotes and not by actual offers. So it became kind of like a game to me, to create something that spoke to my ideal client, that would speak to their ideal client, to help them create a business and a business model and a Pinterest strategy that spoke to their ideal clients in a way that meant that they didn't have to spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day trolling for clients on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever the heck, and that they could simply spend an hour a month creating a series of pins to pitch their one piece of content that they're putting out that month and put it into Tailwind in that hour. So they've created the content, they're putting it into Tailwind, and then do a little bit of third-party stuff. And then they pretty much are done for the month. I mean, if they wanted to add a second set of pins for a second offering, great. If you want to do something every 2 weeks, a blog post or a video or whatever, perfect. If you just want to do something once a week though, or once a month, go for it. Pinterest is very forgiving that way. And I found that I was really good at it, that I'm not only good at, turning people's Pinterest accounts into, hundreds of thousands or millions of views per month, but I'm actually good at all the other pieces as well. And that was kind of a revelation for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I so want to do this forever. I love this so much. And then I brought my sister on board, and now the two of us, she's kind of the brains behind the operation. She does a lot of the writing now, and she does a lot of the pin creation. And thank God for her, because I love my aesthetic, but it doesn't always hit with other people. It sometimes looks a little not quite there, not quite professional yet. And she always takes everything over the top and makes it look really gorgeous. So thank God for her, because honestly, left to my own devices, we'd look a little homemade still. That's an embarrassing admission, but it's true. Anyways, I think that's my origin story. And now I love that I get to, I've created the Pinterest primer, which is a really more in-depth how-to guide or course on how to get started with Pinterest, but it also includes an absolute ton of resources, which are pretty cool. I have Pinterest Secrets, which no one else is doing, which is a small group Pinterest program that is pretty bespoke, because I only take 10 people at a time, and we spend 6 weeks and create your Pinterest account from start to finish. And I show you all my secrets. I don't hold anything back. And we do that. I also do one-on-one work. So if you don't want to do it in a group, you want to just have like more one-on-one time, maybe you want to go faster, maybe you want to go slower, however that works, we can do that as well. And then off the corner of my desk, I do still offer, oh my gosh, I do still offer a done for you service. It's not my favorite thing to offer, but I do still offer it. And that's basically my Pinterest journey in a nutshell. I hope it's been enlightening for you, and that it's kind of got you thinking like, I want to have a journey like that one day. Maybe it'll have a different ending. You never know. Maybe it'll have the same ending. It's kind of cool though to think like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, right? Anyways, wherever you are on this amazing rock, have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.